My second favorite character in Avatar after Azula has got to be Toph, or Toph Beifong, if you will. I love Toph. She to me made the series watchable. Of Team Avatar, I guess in order, I'd say she's my favorite. Katara's probably my second favorite. Sokka's kind of in the middle. Then we have Aang, and then at the bottom we have Zuko. Toph has something that a lot of the other characters in Avatar lack, and that's a personality. In contrast to the other members of the team, which just kind of sulk around and be bland, Toph has a definitive personality. She actually is full of life. She likes being alive. She likes being powerful. She actually takes pride and pleasure in her bending powers. We see her actually capable of enjoying herself, which most of the rest of the characters can't. Does some of that stem from a general lack of empathy? Yes, it probably does. And Toph is probably not a pleasant person to know. She's kind of really combative, really kind of self-absorbed. Even so, she has a sense of humor. Katara doesn't have a sense of humor. Aang has an extremely shitty sense of humor. Zuko, don't even go there. So Sokka and her are kind of the only people with a sense of humor. And she's always there to point out the numerous flaws and shortcomings of the rest of her team. It's like really refreshing because a lot of the other characters are really obnoxious, but she's there to just point out like the absurdity of the situation or just how irrational people are being. And that's kind of the interesting thing about Toph. If we're going by Myers-Briggs, she's definitely a T. Despite her impulsive nature, she's a character with very little in the way of emotion. Extroverted T's are kind of interesting because she's very much into having fun. She's very much into following her heart and just well, not her heart, but just being free. But at the same time, she's not really an emotional character. She just kind of does what she wants to do. And that's kind of Toph in a nutshell. She just does what she wants to do. She's a character who actually has some pride. Aang doesn't really have any pride. Katara doesn't really have any pride. Even if she doesn't really like being part of her family, I think to a certain extent what that's due to more than anything else is just the way they kind of treated her. If they had kind of acknowledged her as their heir and celebrated her fighting, she probably would like being nobility. She probably would like the status that would come with it and the acknowledgement that would come with it. At the same time, though, Toph, I get the impression, is willing to work extremely hard. She trains a lot. She didn't let her blindness hurt her. Instead, what she did was she found another way. She used the gifts that nature had given her to go in and become powerful, to live her own life. In contrast to like Zuko, who just kind of sulks, and in contrast to Aang, who just kind of is annoying, she's willing to put a lot of hard work and effort into becoming powerful, into becoming the person she is. So I really like Toph. She's very much a strong, interesting character. Like I said, there's some aspects of her personality that are unpleasant. She's exceedingly arrogant. She's very much she's probably kind of a bitch in person. At the same time, though, that's kind of tolerable for actually like having a sense of humor and acting like a human being. I really kind of like wish her and Sokka had gone together. I think they would really have been a good pair. They both can have a similar sense of humor. They both have a lot of pride in themselves as warriors and as people. Like they have a lot of pride in their abilities. Sokka, even if he fails has kind of the warrior spirit, has kind of a code of honor, and Toph is kind of similar in a lot of ways to that. Toph even declares at one point, "I am the strongest earthbender in the world." So she obviously really likes being powerful. She takes pride in her strength. In contrast to a lot of the other characters, I don't know. It's just nice to see someone who's not gloomy and has a bit of life in them, and someone who has a bit of a sense of humor. I mean, like Zuko is just Zuko, oh, and Ong, and even Katara. Katara's fairly annoying, but she's at least like a pretty girl, so she's at least like nice to look at. And for that matter, Toph is also very pretty. She's kind of a bit unconventionally pretty, but we kind of have this very petite, kind of pretty, almost China doll-like girl. And I don't just say that because she's Chinese, because the Earth Kingdom is like Ming China. But we have all this strength in someone so small. She kind of reminds me like Yoda in that. Yoda's like this tiny little warrior guy who's supposed to be a great warrior. Yoda never really kind of delivers on that. They kind of do some stuff with the Force, but when he's lightsaber dueling, he has to basically act like a pinball to get anywhere. Whereas Toph just radiates immense amounts of power. She's, in my opinion, by far the strongest member of Team Avatar. And to the end, she just never gives up. She just continues to destroy everything in her path. She continues to just live life on her own terms, to not tolerate any bullshit from anyone. So I like Toph a great deal. She's, as I said, my favorite member of Team Avatar, and my second favorite character in the show after Azula. This is Argent Templar signing out.